Welcome to LC Coins World, where history meets value. Here we uncover rare coins, hidden treasures, and the true worth of everyday pocket change. Whether you're a passionate collector or just curious, every video brings you closer to discovering coins that could be worth a fortune. Stay tuned, because your next coin might change everything. Might just change the way you look at pocket. Change forever. The coin we're looking at. Here is a 1965 Kennedy, $50. And at first glance, it may just seem like an old, worn piece of silver. But don't be fooled. This single coin marks a turning point in U.S. coinage. History and collectors know it's full of surprises that can be worth far more than most people realize. Let's break down why this coin matters and why you should never ignore one if it shows up in your collection or even your pocket. Change. The year 1965 was a critical one. The United States had just gone through the coin shortage of 1964, and silver prices were soaring. Up until then, Kennedy $50 contained 90% silver, but starting in 1965, the mint reduced that silver content to just 40%. That means this very coin in your hand has a silver core surrounded by layers of copper, and silver giving it a unique place in history as the first of the debased Kennedy halves. It's not just a coin, it's a reflection of America's economic shift. Now let's talk design. On the obverse, you see the familiar bust of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilray Roberts with the word Liberty arching above, and the motto "In God We Trust" stretched across the lower part of the coin on the reverse. Frank Gasparos's powerful presidential seal. Design shows the eagle clutching arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other, surrounded by 50 stars. Even in circulated condition, this design jumps out with boldness and dignity, a lasting tribute to Kennedy after his tragic assassination. Condition is everything. The one we see here has honest wear. Notice the softening of Kennedy's hair details and the flattened high points on the cheek and jawline. In circulated condition, like this, most 1965 halves might trade for little more than their silver melt value, which right now puts them around 5 to 7. But here's where things get interesting. In uncirculated condition, these same coins can sell for 100, 200, or more, depending on the luster and strike. Collectors hunt for well-preserved examples, especially those with a strong strike where every line of Kennedy's hair is crisp. But wait, there's more. Error coins from 1965 are where the real shock value comes in. For example, a few 1965 Kennedy halves were accidentally struck on 90% silver plankets, left over from 1964. Imagine that, a coin dated 1965 but secretly containing the richer silver composition of the year before. Those errors have sold for jaw-dropping figures at auction, some soaring past $7,000 to $10,000 depending on condition. Others were struck on clad plan kits by mistake or show. Dramatic striking errors like off-centers or double dies each. One of those is a golden ticket for collectors. And the real kicker, the highest graded, MS-67 or MS-68 by PCGS or NGC, can bring unbelievable prices. One pristine 1965 Kennedy $50 in gem mint state. Unbelievable prices. One pristine 1965 Kennedy $50 in gem mint state. Sold for nearly $15,000. That's right, a coin most people might toss into change could be worth a used car, or even more if it's the right condition and variety. So how do you know if yours could be special? Always check for sharp detail, brilliant luster, and any signs off unusual coloration or planet composition. Weight can also be a giveaway if your 1965 halfway's closer to 12.5 g instead of the typical 11.5. You may have one of those rare leftover 90% silver plankets. That's the kind of find that turns a casual hobbyist into a serious treasure hunter overnight. This coin isn't just history, it's opportunity. Every collector dreams of spotting the overlooked treasure. And with the 1965 Kennedy $50, that dream can be very real. What looks like a common circulated piece in your hand might just hold hundreds, even thousands in hidden value. Next up, we'll look at another Kennedy $50 that takes the story and the value even higher. And remember, if you've ever come across a Kennedy half in your change or collectee was still deep in the transition away from silver coinage, Just like the 1965, this Kennedy half dollar was struck in 40% silver. But here's the twist. 1965 was one of the highest mintage years for the series with over 295 million produced. That means finding one in circulated condition today. Like the example you see here with marks and toning on Kennedy's cheek and hair isn't unusual. In average condition,